Good morning or afternoon to everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Desert Coffee Chats. I am your host, Donna, and my counterpart, Caroline, is at her home at the moment. So I will be hosting solo today due to our special circumstances going on here in Kuwait. For all of our listeners who have been reaching out, we decided to do a very simple episode. Just wanted to let everyone in on how things are going here on our side of the world. And Caroline and I haven't recorded a new episode lately due to our nationwide curfew and being on total lockdown. So those of you that are familiar with what's going on in the GCC, we've been on complete lockdown, so it's kind of put a damper on coming together and doing an episode these past few weeks. So what we've decided to do is we agreed to record something for everyone and give everyone an update on what's going on. So pretty much anyone can turn on the TV, news, social media, and all of that, and it's all just portraying doom and gloom. So, and I'm speaking for myself here, I know just how much outside news sources can really start to mess with you. So we decided just to do a few recordings for you guys, just to kind of touch base with you, let everyone in on what's going on in our little world. And, everyone is feeling pretty much the same worldwide. So first of all, I am going to play Caroline's message to everyone, and then I will speak just briefly about myself, and that will be pretty much it for the day. So here is a message from our lovely Caroline.
Okay, so basically this is just an update on my life, my routine, my survival mindset or whatever during this quarantine time. It's going to sound a little bit off because, again, Donna and I are not together. So I am just taping this remotely and we're just going to piece it together. So mine is probably going to sound far away. So basically, I've been in the house since the end of February when we came back from Oman, and the government said, things are not looking good. So I basically have been at home with my little family. A couple of my children are in the U.S., so I'm separated from them, which is not good. But I thought I'd just kind of go over what I've been doing, how I'm trying to, I know it's survive sounds kind of extreme, but how I'm trying to get along during this time. And looking at probably the three aspects of things from me: mind and body and spirit, as hokey as that might sound. Mind-wise, what I've been doing is, we ended classes, so that was a consumption of mind energy for a while. And even though it's virtual class and you can do it from the comfort of your own home, and it's, there's no stress, you don't have to get dressed and, all fixed up, it still is really taxing and kind of draining, I found. And I know that there have been articles written about this and such, since everybody, a lot of the educators and people at work are doing virtual days. It's really draining, I think, because you're just kind of putting your thoughts and your feelings and your energy and your effort out there into a blank sort of a void. You can't really, when you're dealing with students, you can't really get a feeling for their level of engagement or if they're even actually there and paying attention. So it can be a little draining, but, that's over right now. So otherwise, for mind energy kind of things, I've been reading, of course, and painting, working on about 3 or 4 paintings at one time right now. I find that suits my kind of scattered brain well, is to kind of work on several paintings at one time. I write every day, not just for posts that I put on my social media accounts, but, poetry and my own writing. And taking some classes for myself on my own. For my sort of, whatever you want to call it, or you want to call it soul, spirit, energy, whatever it is, connection. Of course, first focus is with family, and although we have been in Ramadan, this whole past month just ended 2 days ago, so everybody is on, their time schedule is mixed up, having family time together, sitting together for the meals, just talking, trying to draw each other out of our cocoons, and then calling my kids in the U.S., talking to my kids in the U.S., and then it's made it into sort of a routine that I talk to my parents pretty much every day at their breakfast time. My afternoon time, I call them, and we kind of, even though we don't have that much new information to pass back and forth to each other, it's just kind of like we're sitting at the breakfast table, chatting, trying to keep each other's spirits up without going into any sort of like depressing news of the day or anything political or anything like that too much. Watching shows that are not heavy for me. I don't want to get engaged in shows that are too sad or too dark, or I'm just, kind of watching shows that are just kind of take you away, kind of mindless stuff, just laughing and stuff, and sitting with my son and going and watching things that are funny to both of us. That's helpful to me. And then, also for that sort of energy, I feel like it's beneficial, even though it's in the hundreds, upper 90s, lower 100s right now in Kuwait. I make a point of going to sit outside in our yard for whatever short periods of time that I'm able, just to sit in the sun, put my feet in the grass, and just sort of recharge for a short period of time every day. Okay, for body-wise, forcing myself to move. Wow, it's easy to just sink into a couch or a comfortable chair and watch the hours peel away. But I've been forcing myself to get up and move, even if I have to check my phone every now and then and be like, okay, yeah, it's time to get up and move around and walk around the house. But I do go outside to our outside room and walk on a treadmill. And then later on in the day, I'll try to go upstairs. We have an elliptical. I'll go walk on that or use a rower some. So just whatever ways that I can get that movement in, I try to do that. And even if it's not like, 45 minutes at one time, I find that splitting it up, sometimes for me, a lot of exercise at home can just run into monotonous sort of thing for me. So what helps me is like just splitting it up sometimes and just maybe 10 minutes here and then 10 minutes here a little bit later on and then 15 minutes here. So that way it doesn't like just be like, oh my God, this is tedium. It's just too boring. Also, I think in the beginning of the sort of quarantine life, I think it was tempting to be like, okay, well, I'm just going to eat myself into comfort. Not good. So I was like more leaning towards maybe treating myself and, this is just today or whatever. As today grew into tomorrow and into a month and 2 months or whatever, you started to see, wait a minute, I'm going to have to watch what I'm eating more. And for me, it has kind of led me to the realization, which I've kind of known in the back of my mind and my intuition all along, that sugar is really not good for me. So I've been trying to watch how much sugar I'm taking in. I'm not saying that I'm doing completely, no sugar, because I do enjoy having a little bit of sugar in my coffee in the mornings, but just not doing like desserts and stuff like that. So I've just really been trying to cut that down and eventually out. So, just kind of trying to keep it all, balanced, mind and body and spirit, because there's a tendency to want to just kind of focus on one part of ourselves and just neglect other parts of ourselves. But that's what I've been trying to do. It's funny that, we grow up hearing all these cliches and stuff, and they are cliches for a reason, that, you don't know what you have until you lose it, blah, 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 stuff like that. But you really don't, like the things that you really dreaded or whatever, when they're gone, you're like, whoa, that wasn't so bad. So there's a kernel of wisdom in there for us, I think. I'm looking forward to actually being able to go back into a routine of getting out of the house and going to work. And even though that got to be monotonous of every day, kind of like I'm going to work, I'm doing the same thing day in and day out. It's nice. I miss it. I miss seeing people at work. I miss having that interaction, but I'm also enjoying what I'm gaining out of this. And I know that when time comes and we go back into a more quote unquote normal routine, I think we'll look back on this time and be like, yeah, there was a lot of good in that too. And even I watch, sometimes I see families walking during we have the 2 hours of time where people are allowed to walk from 4:30 to 6:30. And I see families walking by the house here. And I think, the parents are like at first, like maybe nervous or stressed or anxious or worried. But then I see the little kids and I think, how are they going to look back on this time? And there's a good chance that a lot of them will be like, yeah, remember that time when nobody was at work and we all sat together and we played games, and then we went out and walked together around the neighborhoods. That was really fun time. It's a chance maybe that they won't have that again when we get back into our hurried and harried lives. So, I think there's some benefit in everything. But I watch that and I think about how the kids will look at these things differently than we do. So anyway, that's about it for me. I can't think of anything else I want to say at this moment, but maybe we'll be doing some check-ins from time to time, and just to let people know what we're up to and how we're doing. And I say one bit of useful information is turn off the news. Turn off or turn away from all of the news feed that you have on your phone. Check in maybe once a day if you want to see like major events happening or whatever. But turn off from these talking heads that are giving you their perspectives of, what's happening, whether it's this side or that side or, whatever it is. Everybody has their perspective, and it all tends to be a little bit sensationalized and worry-inducing. So I say, turn off from that and generate your own energy and generate the feelings that you would like to have. Don't take on other people's emotions and feelings and wear them as your own. That just causes stress. So anyway, missing everybody, missing seeing everybody. Hope everybody stays healthy and safe and well. And until next time, see you.
Listening to Caroline talk about turning off the news, that totally resonates with me, because for me, I have to raise my hand and admit that I'm totally guilty of that. I can be fine one moment, and then I look online and there is different news and different opinions and different interpretations, and I will say that it does totally mess with your mind. And that totally resonates with me, because that's me, definitely. That is totally me. There has been some days, the days that I'm just like, okay, I'm going to do a complete, total fast from any kind of social media. And then a day will go by and I creep up and I will go check it again, and I noticed how it can really send you down a dark, dark rabbit hole whenever you start to hear all of these different things and different opinions. And yeah, I totally get what she's saying there. And I completely agree with that. Her and we've had many talks about that, the way we see things and, like all the different news sources. As she mentioned, we're going on being home now for almost 3 months. So end of February, the end of February is whenever they told us basically like stay home for now. And then it's going on almost 3 months of us, being at home. Now, I will say that I'm very, very, very thankful that I've gotten to spend more time with my children. I have 2 small children, both under the age of 3, or one is 3, one is 2. And, I'm very thankful to be able to have gotten this time. Usually whenever I'm at work in the morning, I don't get to see them. So whenever I come home, it's just doing the afternoon routines and then, then going to bed, and it's the same routine every day. So it has been a really big blessing being able to get to spend time with them. So, on and off from the beginning, whenever we had the quarantine, if that's, what we call it for now, we did like 1 week of online classes, and then they told us to stop. And then they gave us a few weeks later the go ahead and to complete the spring semester. So we had to complete a 5-week online class for our students. So while I was happy to do that, I was thankful to go ahead and to complete the semester. My personality, I don't like things hanging over my head, and just the idea of we have to finish this semester. I was thankful that they were telling us, hey, we have the approval, let's go ahead and finish it online. So while I was happy about that, at the same time, what Caroline mentioned is completely right. It really was a drag. It's not that it was a drag, but, and even our hours were cut in half for the actual teaching time. Those hours of teaching felt absolutely like it would suck the life out of you. And, which was really interesting. It was definitely a learning experience. And, it was a whole new situation interacting with the students and also getting their feedback as well on it, how they felt. And thank God we finished, and we finished the semester, so it turned out to be successful, so definitely thankful for that. And that did take up our morning times. Caroline and we both teach in the morning, so they kept our schedule pretty much the same, but just a few hours in the morning to do our online classes with the students. But yes, very thankful that is over with. As far as when it comes to food, I will say for me, being home a lot more hours definitely makes you, I'm not going to say make is the wrong word, but it puts you in more situations where it's easier to just graze or to constantly, pick at things, even whenever you're not necessarily hungry. I have, though, Caroline's very artistic. She likes to paint, write, draw. She's, that's her thing. For me, I love to be in the kitchen and I love to cook. I definitely have been cooking a lot more than usual. And also with it being Ramadan this past month, trying to make my husband some different dishes for him. So I definitely was cooking more, and which, as I said, I love being in the kitchen, so I'm very thankful for that. It is a bit hard though whenever you have two toddlers under your feet, and under you when you're trying to be at at the stove. So anyways, but I'm thankful for all of it. Now, for me, I will say that being at home so much definitely got me in my mind a lot. I miss simple things. Whenever we just had the curfew and the curfew hours changed a few times, the curfew wasn't that big of a deal for me. It was fine because I knew that we still had the hours in the daytime that we were free to, I wouldn't say roam around, but you were free to go to whichever supermarket you wanted, or, you still had some sense of freedom. For me, whenever we went on the complete lockdown, the government made it to where, which is really a nice thing as well. They made it to where you can go to this government website, and whichever area you are in, you put in your information, and you're given a choice of the government supermarket, or if there is a supermarket that is closer to you, you are able to go shop at that supermarket at a given time. So basically you have special permission for a certain time period to go, and the site provides you with a barcode that you keep on your phone. 2 barcodes, one for the supermarket for them to let you into the supermarket, and one for the police if you were to be stopped by the police at a checkpoint. So it's just very surreal times, I guess, and that definitely, I would say, has wore on me a bit. I'm very thankful that we have the lockdown ending on May 30th. I'm super thankful for that. Yes, our lockdown is supposed to stop on May 30th. They will continue a partial curfew, though, for us, which I think it was announced today that it will be 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. But still, just knowing that during those 12 hours in the day, you are able to roam around a bit. For me, psychologically, I'm very thankful for that, and I'm really looking forward to it. And my family and close friends know that is very good for me. Now for me also, coming up, the summer months, it being very, very hot. Caroline mentioned that it will only continue to get hotter. So for me, it's just trying to find things for my children to do, and to basically, all my focus is on my family, my husband and my kids, and keeping everyone entertained and sane. And as I mentioned, having 2 toddlers and trying to keep them, engaged and, and just, filling their time with good things to do. It can be hard. It can really be hard, especially when you're stuck inside the home. But once we are allowed to go out, whenever the lockdown has, it has stopped, still it's going to be stifling hot outside. So you have to be really creative with what you want to do. But I am thankful for that, even with the heat coming, or the hotter heat coming, however you want to say it, I'm still looking forward to it. So, I have days that really I'm just ready for this to be, I'm over it. And then days that I am really thankful I'm getting to see my children more and more, and watching them grow and talk more and, develop more. And so I'm very thankful for that. Thank God for that. So it has definitely been a time. I'm not going to say good time, bad time, but it's been a time. But give thanks for everything. Thank God for everything. We're all healthy, we're safe, and hopefully all of this will pass very soon. For those of you that have emailed and also sent messages on Instagram, this episode's for you. We are thankful that you're checking in, and that you missed our episodes. Hopefully in the next few weeks, we'll be able to come back on and have some good content with and some more normal episodes coming up as well. So, and for those of you that are new or just now hearing this, you can follow us on Instagram at Desert Coffee Chats Podcast. You can also reach out to us there, or you can send us an email at desertcoffeechats@gmail.com. Our podcast is also on all platforms. We have our YouTube channel, as some of you listen to this on YouTube, and we are on iTunes, Spotify, BuzzSprout, SoundCloud, all of the major podcast platforms. We are available there as well. And for any of you that would like to share your stories, how you have been feeling, just getting your own voice out there, you're more than welcome to send us your stories or questions, anything you have. We love to hear from you. And that is pretty much it for today. That's our update. We hope that everyone is staying safe, everyone is good, and you and your loved ones are all doing well. And that is it from here. Take care, everyone, and hope to be back soon. Bye.
Desert Coffee Chats.